Hello. A little bit crazy with the light at the moment in the room, but anyway, we are talking about Scorpio, aren't we? So thank you so much for being here, fellow Scorpio. Polina here. We're looking at the light and the dark and the crazy show that is life and the world of people during these types of times. So we are looking at 2023. Now, the only thing I gotta say is hold your tongue and hold your horses. Even though you might want to make it all like happen like today, you might want to have it done like 3 days ago. You want to speed up or you want to do things, and you might be very uneconomical about what you're saying and doing because you just might feel like a crazy itching to be somebody during such a year. I suggest take it down a notch and be careful and grateful for what you have, and be careful for what you wish for might come true. If you are a very, very scary person, if you self-harm, or if you idealize like the shadow, or if you're very like gothic and kind of like weird person, you don't have to be that person. So like the thing is to not be that crazy person. Don't be the person running around with somebody else. Don't be the person burning down somebody's village or somebody's idea. So this is the worst thing that can happen. Scorpios are going to go really, really crazy this year, and then eventually get very wise. So by the end of 23, it's just going to be like, well, I've done the thing and I shook the very foundations of my belief system, or I went into crisis and then I found out this is not who I was anymore. So like wisdom, get a Zen book or like a I Ching book, or my God, like get some kind of philosophical book and just count on it. Start to feel good about yourself. I know it sounds like a cookie cutter response, but like we don't want you guys to lose your mind. So the worst thing that basically happens is you want to redesign the bicycle. So you want to say, I got the word now. Now I know who like Christ was, or now I understand what Buddha is, or la 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 la. So all of these really, really astronomical issues that you might have later on in time are just because it's like bouts of pain or shame from the predecessors, or like your previous knowledge bank is just going to push you towards some phenomenal loss. And then after loss and like losing your friends, losing a family member, losing your time, money burning through, a lot of energy, you will just get there and it's like, oh, Confucius was right, or like, oh, but like in the Buddha's writings, that is exactly what he talks about. Just try not to bring yourself to that point where you are consciously like killing your time and confusing other people. So there is like a very big martyrdom window during this time for just you guys. Nobody else is doing nothing. It's most likely going to be you guys and a little bit of Capricorn in there that is just going to be like sulky and then going to get scary. So we have to find you out like what's going on. Maybe it's a liver thing, maybe you have a parasite in your bowels, maybe you have a little inflammation, maybe you don't get enough sleep. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be condescending, but it is a beginning of something else. Sometimes we think, I get so sad sometimes, or like I can't handle my life, or it's despicable what is happening in the world. Like, what are they doing to the children? What is like the actual real story of life? What's the point of this? What's the point of that? Like, you might get very like emotional, and underneath is just like a broken child. Like my sad home when I was a kid. My mother didn't love me. It could be just like that sitting inside underneath. So I talk a lot about the dark night of the soul for 2023 specifically for a lot of us. I would definitely stay out of it. Stay out of it. Like, okay, you guys, if you want, make a pact with yourself to go a nice, simple way. Therapy, yoga, okay? Nature. Go out to nature, sit down on the grass, listen to the bees. Sit down, like feel it. Maybe you have to put your feet in the sand. Maybe you have to sometimes eat a lot of strawberries. Okay, I don't know, you need to have love, just have some hugs, you know. Like, I'm serious. I'm not being condescending. Like, hug it out, Scorpio. Maybe you have to have some friends around. Maybe you get very mischievous and weird and crazy when it's that time of the month. Okay, maybe you have to know that. Okay, some people, some women get really, really crazy around that time of the month. Okay, I'm not, I'm not shitting you. It's true. Sometimes, like maybe it's about plants. Maybe you need a hygienic detoxing. Maybe you have to detox your skin, or you have to detox your bowels, or you have to treat early signs of diabetes. You know, so try to make it simple. Also, if you like, have a library of things that you already can go to. Like, say, Buddha said this, you know, in ancient times they used to do this. You know, try to pack your bag full of books. You know, try to look at some cool stuff on TV. I don't know, educate yourselves, you know. So that's the worst thing that can happen, is you might have a lot of fire and you might have a lot of issues, and sometimes they're just in your bowels, and you think it's my mother, it's my grandmother, like I have this history, or my karma, all this, you know, stuff. And it could just be something very small, like you need to cleanse your liver, like relax, you know. And I know it sounds condescending, but there's going to be a lot of it there for you later. If you get angry, if you get annoyed, if you pick a fight, if you are known for it. Some of us with Scorpio energy are known. Okay, I know that person is going to say something. I know, I know. And we have to become absolutely not of that, you know. So also, if you've been known, and also if people have drawn the line with you, because it's like, you're the person we can't invite to the party. It's like, why? Because the person always gets drunk and hits on somebody. Always, every time, you know. Or like, we won't invite you to the movies. Like, why? Because you just fall asleep and start snoring. And it happened already once, and 2 times with this other person, they talked about it. So you get known for something. Also, becoming rubbish people. You know, being a rubbish person, meaning saying something mean to somebody, like just because it's funny for you, you know, doing something mean to somebody because it's enlightening to who you are, being crazy about somebody and then discarding them and being very philosophical with them when it's just not time, and giving people advice that they don't need, and, you know, all of that stuff. So there is like a lot of toxicity basically brewing inside a Scorpio energy, and also commitments and communities of Scorpionic. For example, innovation, technology, anything to do with, like, say, also money laundering, very big time. This whole Ukraine thing, Ukraine, Russia, like, check it out. Like, a lot of money laundering is happening on that side of things. Obsession with disease, design, innovation, architecture, like a lot of things of the future, and like the next level of life. As you can see, Uranus is in Taurus, innovation, whereas safe. So you see, like, all this innovation, technology, and wanting to do something freaky and tricky just won't work. So look at where Uranus is, like, for the next long, long while. You know, so he's going to be in Taurus. So we need to involve in simple community building. We need to evolve our food, our diet, our gut systems. We have to ingest maybe proteins differently. We have to, you know, try to find sugar and fruit and naturally sourced, you know, vegetables and stuff, instead of, like, say, putting that white refined sugar in our diet. You know, we've got to change the way that we think and we eat, and how we go about the earth, and how we value one another. So the progress as a human one is very, very base levels. Taurus, Uranus is in Taurus, so it's just like simple, basic stuff. But here we have high flying, high fetched results. So never trust that AI technology. We are, you know, we are the people from the stars. We're going to go and we're going to do this crazy ass stuff. All of this stuff, like this craziness, at this point is not necessarily genius. And we have to basically allow it and let it stop. And let it come to its own humbling. So quite a few of you guys, also Uranus being on the opposite side to you, are looking for things like, I'm also there, I'm also Scorpio, are looking for conversation and looking for situations and realities that might be fragmenting. You know, it's like, I spent so many hours on this project and it never saw the light of day. I've met so many people online and I I never met any one of them. Okay, I made so much money and then I just blew it. So there needs to be a very, very nice conscious relationship that you build, at least with something or somebody. Like if you have a child, fantastic. I must be a better father or mother. I must be a more level person. I must be a secure person for this little girl or boy growing up. Or there needs to be like a very nice simplicity and simplification of what you're here trying to do. So we are not looking for those high, fast, hard results. We're looking for something relative, and we're looking for something caring. Also, a lot of people are just waiting for you to be just a nice guy. Even sometimes children, like say, of other people, they see you and they got that face like, hey, I know that you could just like reach out and, like say hello. Like people are looking to you for the niceties. But the minute that your face turns and like, after a while, they ask some questions, people get to know you and they understand, wow, that's not a nice person at all, or like this person doesn't like me, I think, or this is not a good person to know, they will close the door. So some things are gonna be so jam shut, So like, why don't I get invited to the party? Why do I not get asked out on the date? You see, like these are like ancient ancestral questions. Sometimes many people and like a whole family ask the same question. It's like, why don't I get to dance? Why am I never invited to these amazing places? Like, why do I never get the trophy? And the reason is this, because Scorpio has a certain long line or long-term commitment to shadow. It's like, I will not make any art unless it is like erotic or like violent art, or I will not make food unless it is packed full of like gunk and salt and sodium and cheese and gluten. I will not make any other way. It's my tribe, it's my tradition. It's just like deal with it, So that deal with it thing, it's like, well, here's me. I'm just gonna do what I want. So you just deal with it. It works. It worked a lot in Tiger. You guys did some really, really freaky, awesome stuff in Tiger 2022. It feels like it worked the year before, a few years before. Probably about 6 or 7 years, it kind of worked for you guys. Like being a little bit mean, a bit rough with words, and a little bit rough with commitments, and maybe a little bit sugar-coated sometimes and presented really beautifully, but underneath was like a spiteful person. It's like there is, the collagen treatments, and the surgeries, and underneath there is a very insecure person. So that was, and it wasn't at the same time. So there is not enough time, energy, or light for that kind of conversation. We don't have enough time for it, so the immaturity is gone maybe already, like just by admitting it. It's like, I don't actually understand what I'm doing. I don't actually understand what I'm coping with. I don't really understand my personality crisis. Actually, yeah, I do have a neurological issue. Actually, yeah, I do, like, feel like this or that. And it's not about necessarily surrendering, like say, surrendering, like going to prison, like dubbing yourself in. It's not about that. It's about looking at yourself in a different way. And also in terms of prison sentences and stuff, I definitely don't see it this year round. But because of you and how you are, there is something getting closer. And we also have to understand if you are ever on the other side of the law, and if you've been doing things underneath and maybe making things that are seen as evil or seen as irreputable in society, that's going to get very highly spoken, like very intensely spoken about in the later years to come. So for example, if during this year, 23, you're doing some really, really crazy stuff, we won't speak about it this year. Maybe not next year, and the next year, maybe in 2027, there's going to be a lot of conversations about, also on a larger scale, government corruptions, or like certain strategies or certain ingenuity, certain things that people are going to be creating and masking and doing behind the scenes during 23, 25, even 26 is going to be really shown by 27, 28, 29. So people are going to have to deal with it later. So a lot of the messes we make simply because we are insane, or we're starting to become unstable, and simply because we don't know where to go and how to bring back that youthfulness and how to bring back that joyfulness and that magic or that reality that we once had. So I understand that quite a lot of you guys are suffering maybe from nostalgia, or like not need for it now, but like there was once a guy, or there was once a time, or there was once a being, or I once was so young and fresh, or the world was so untarnished and it was so beautiful, and all of this. So you can bring it back here, but carefully. If you want to, you can call up your mum, or if you want to, you can offer people help. It's a very, very flamboyantly giving energy that sometimes Scorpio can have, and it can be over the top, and I would not trust it, because if a Scorpio suddenly feels flamboyantly giving, like tears in the eyes, like all juicy, wanting to give hugs to everybody, there's usually something beneath that. So I would trust it would be better to pack it in and basically solve this puzzle yourselves, however you do. It's just you guys have to be in the know that there is something ill-willed or masking underneath what is happening today, and it's very, very good to be fine and not afraid. And then eventually, inevitably, yeah, this year will turn into quite a fiasco for some of you guys if you're getting very cold and very hungry or lustful or emotional or emotionless, like completely no emotions. Like, I have to be very careful. So keep your finger on the pulse, keep yourself in check if you are also not one of those beings that is shining today. Like if you got left behind or left in the dark, if you are not feeling satisfied with your progress, it's better and easier to do things on your own in the dark than to try and push anything off into the light of day, meaning your programs or your projects didn't work or something didn't work out. It's getting there maybe, but it's not all that you want it to be. Be careful with pride. Pride is one of the worst in the rabbit year, especially like this. During this year, it's very hard. So also it's good to make sure that nothing is too much and that you just suffice. It's like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to wear practical clothes. I'm going to get how much things I'm going to get from the markets, as much as I need to suffice. So that overspending, over dramatizing, or over meaning, or over needing is going to inevitably come back to size. So that inflammation that we see in society as well. Scorpio rules inflammation in a way. Like big, 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 like slogans and huge giant high heels and huge amount of makeup and like big wigs and like, the RuPaul Drag Race, reality that we're living. You see, we have to just wait. We have to make it sure that we are not overbearing. We're not making things in our lives. I'm not questioning like people's representation or gender or curiosity, nothing. It's just like, it's a simple life, okay? And those of us that are not able to make it and have anxiety and, like psychosis and, panic attacks and fears and amazingness and, I need to get on the meds and, I don't know, I'm going to get back to drinking, or I hope I don't do any drugs again, all of that, like, criticism of oneself and that like inner psyche, like just having like this panic attack constantly, that can go. It's just as long as you understand that there is not really that much to be or do now. It's just like you basically write it out, and a lot of you guys will need to do this whole thing in silence. So this whole year isn't about la 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 la, look at me, and that guy there, don't look at him, look at me, or like I don't care, like all of that incredible potential is lost. But then eventually, come what may, you'll come back to center. So I'm seeing you guys by the end of even August, like August, October, around that window, you might get everything done anyway, even if you did some really weird things. So it's better not to let all this turmoil and trauma happen, and also not to be known as just like a bad person, or like a person that's just hard to be around. It's just like hard to know. Like hard to relate to, hard to realize, like hard to sit down next to. It's like a person that lies or, cheats or, makes up things or like doesn't tell you the truth. Like all of that has to leave. And then eventually, just through very simple guided work and maybe some knowledge, maybe some books, maybe some ideas, ideologies, maybe working things out in your own way, you will get real. And then It feels to me that there's a moment of truth, and by the end of the year, you'll get it. You'll be like, oh, wow, that is exactly what I was looking for, or this is exactly who I am. It's just going to take such a long time to filter it if you are in confusion. So, what not to do? Like drugs, okay, lots of coffee, copious amounts of people, intense sexuality, constant expression of it. They need to be feared, they need to be known, pride, degradation, obsession with things that don't matter, that don't need to be. It's like RuPaul's Drag Race. You don't need to do anything. It's like you just basically have to be who you are, and just understand yourself and associate. And sure, there are some people that might frown on it, but there are people that have already written pretty good material. They are pretty good, like Tibetan Book of the Dead. Sure, great, okay, like almost any Buddhist literature. Okay, like some, I don't know, like ancient Chinese, spirituality, like Confucius and such, like maybe a little bit of Hinduism in there somewhere, Buddhism. And just, you don't have to do that much. It's just like, oh, okay, right, every day, okay. Zen, okay. Now, this is a big ask for Scorpios this year. Really big ask, but sure. Why don't you like wash the cup after you use it? If you pee, you put the seat down. It's like make your bed after you get up in the morning. I don't know, like wash your face at night, brush your teeth, like Zen. Sometimes it's not about that for you guys, and I understand that some people really thrive in a little bit of chaos and a little bit of mishmash, but we can't afford it in the rabbit year. Chaos, obsession with things, obsession with people, celebrity gossip, can't do it this year. And then basically just try to get things right. I'm walking and I'm breathing, okay? I'm sitting down, I'm feeling, okay? I'm laying down and I'm praying, or like I'm thinking of the best, or I'm sending a thought to my ancestors, or something like, I'm willing to change, I'm willing to change, I'm willing to see my life in perspective. I'm willing to take out that dagger from the past. I'm willing to no longer feel unacceptable to myself, or I'm unacceptable to other people. I don't want to be that. I want to be nice. I want to be dreamy. I want to be good. I want to see growth in my life. I want to see respect. It's about respectful living situations, respectful living conditions. It's just about simplicity. Like, yeah, I don't want to sit there in the basement. I don't want to sit there under the rug. I want to be in front of people, or I want to be in the beautiful world. I want to drink pure water and breathe fine smelling air, and see the sunshine, and good things will happen. Purity and compassion, and then basically you become that. But for certain people, will have to be hard drilled. It's like every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm getting safer, safe for other people. I'm getting more conscious. I'm less of a martyr. I'm not killing my time now. I'm not getting ready for something that doesn't exist. I'm not making friends online. I'm not trying to be somebody else. I'm not lustful. I'm not disrespectful. I'm me. And then eventually that will become boring. Sure, there's the burden also, of having a structured day. But then eventually, basically, you become more true. And that is the next step to a more conscious and concise you. And then eventually, yeah, that will end, this will go up, this will go down. The mystery of life, it'll be like a tipsy-turvy ride by December's end, 2023. Voila, you worked it out. And then Dragon Year is not going to be maybe that good, but it'll be one of the best years. For Scorpio 24, incredible. Incredible. Flying colors. Like, the magic happens in that year. But before that, it's important to get all your ducks in a row. Thank you very much. I hope that you had a curious time hearing me out. And also, please have a look at my next message here. If you'd like more insights on this year to come, please check out my Almanac for 2023. It has all the information for all the signs, and it is available in Kindle book form and physical book form as well. And also, if you like, have a look at my Patreon with all the details for every sign, for every month, and day-to-day prognosis. And yes, my website, of course, where you can read more about me, and if you like, you can get a booking as well. And yes, I do year ahead readings, which are very popular every year. And here's my retreat website if you're curious about coming to see me in Peru. And yes, of course, please like and subscribe. Thank you.